Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are not going to sit around and wait for inspiration to strike like lightning. Nope. Instead, we're going to become the architects of innovation. We're opening up a creative toolkit that's designed to help you build brilliant ideas step by step.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. That blinking cursor on a totally white screen, or that empty whiteboard staring back at you in a meeting. It's that feeling of being completely stuck, just waiting for a great idea that, well, it just refuses to show up. It's so frustrating. But what if I told you there's a much better way than just waiting?
Okay, let's really get into this, because the biggest myth about creativity is that it's some kind of magic. It's not. Great ideas are constructed piece by piece using proven methods and techniques. And today, we're going to fill your toolkit with some of the absolute best. So first up, let's look at some tools that are designed to harness the power of a group. Because, a lot of the time, the most groundbreaking ideas don't come from a lone genius, but from that amazing collaborative energy.
Now, you've probably heard of brainstorming, but so many teams don't really get the most out of it. The key principle here is quantity, not quality, especially at the beginning. The whole goal is to get a massive, unfiltered list. No judgment, no criticism. This is all about shutting down that inner editor to get every single possibility out on the table. The biggest mistake people make is they start critiquing ideas way too soon. And it's actually a pretty simple process. First, you have to know exactly what problem you're trying to solve. Get super clear on it. Second, and this is the fun part, you just unleash the ideas. Go for wild, out-of-the-box thoughts. There are absolutely no bad ideas at this stage. And only after you've squeezed out every last possibility do you move to step 3, discussing, combining, and refining those raw ideas into something really powerful. All right, but what happens when brainstorming just stalls and you feel like you're hitting a wall? Let's move to our next tool. This one's a wonderfully counterintuitive technique for getting creatively unstuck. It's all about flipping the problem completely on its head.
This one might be my favorite. Instead of asking, how do we solve this? You ask, how could we make this problem even worse? Or how could we absolutely guarantee failure? It's kind of like thinking like a villain. And by doing that, you expose all these hidden obstacles. And in turn, you discover powerful solutions you might have never, ever considered otherwise. The process here is just as straightforward. First, you identify the problem, same as before. But then you brainstorm all the ways to cause that problem or turn it into a total disaster. And finally, you take that list of bad ideas and you just reverse them. Each negative point becomes a potential positive solution. It is a fantastic way to shake up your thinking. Now, not all of us think in nice, neat, linear lists. So for all the visual thinkers out there, this next section is for you. We're moving from verbal techniques to tools that let you actually map your ideas and see all the connections. Let's just pause on that for a second. Our brains often work in these big webs of association, not straight lines, right? And when we try to force our creativity into a simple list, we can lose those rich connections between concepts. Visual tools, well, they allow our ideas to breathe and grow a lot more organically. And our toolkit has some brilliant methods for this. We're talking about things like mind maps, the organized chaos of sticky notes for meta planning, or even using sort cards to group your thoughts and find patterns. Today, though, we're going to focus on a classic. A mind map is kind of like creating a blueprint of your thoughts on a topic. You start with the core idea right there in the middle of the page. Then you draw branches for the major themes, and then smaller branches for all the related ideas. It pretty much mimics how our brains naturally form connections, which lets you see the entire landscape of your thinking at a glance, and spot new, unexpected pathways between all those different branches. Okay, so we've filled our toolkit with some really powerful methods. But the true mark of an innovator isn't just knowing the tools. It's knowing which one to use and when. So let's see how to build a smart strategy. Think of this slide as your handy guide. If you need a flood of fresh, diverse ideas and you need them fast, classic brainstorming is your go-to. If you're stuck on a really nagging problem or you want to get ahead of future issues, pull out reverse brainstorming. And when you're dealing with a complex topic with tons of interconnected parts, visual mapping is going to bring you so much clarity. And this quote really just captures the ultimate takeaway, doesn't it? You can learn dozens of techniques, but the real skill, the true art of innovation, is developing that instinct to look at a situation and say, this calls for a mind map, or, you know what, this team really needs to do some reverse brainstorming. So now the toolkit is in your hands. That blank page. It doesn't seem so intimidating anymore, does it? It's just a construction site, waiting for an architect. The only question left is the one you see right here. With these tools at your disposal, what are you going to build first?